trying to remember if there was any in find that little mini roadmap, and they were like, "Oh, there's this and this and this." But yeah, I think there's
There is no roadmap, but do not tell people lies. There's
no, not roadmap, but just like the
Ah.
list of upcoming events where Reclaim is
List
this week
yeah,
and Iron
let's
Banner
just
is this week. Yeah, not roadmap in a what's upcoming sense, but just here's basically the reason to log into the game for the next few weeks, which is
that is my fear,
basically
that when we get the roadmap, it's just a copy and paste of that with a few extra things in there, and I'm like,
yeah. Here's the next
Yeah.
4 things that are going to be available to you.
but you've told us that already.
Yeah, we know about those. What's after that one?
Well, shall we start the show, and then we can talk about what's happening with this week's event, I
I think
guess?
we shall.
We shall.
Welcome to the Two Titans and a Hunter Destiny 2 podcast, a show dedicated to bringing you the latest intel, the mightiest news, and the boldest opinions from the farthest reaches of the Sol system. Whether you're a bright-eyed new Guardian, fresh from the Cosmodrome, or a battle-hardened veteran of the Red War, this is your Destiny destination. We'll arm you with tips, tricks, and tower-worthy tools to help you triumph, thrive, and revel in the glory of the fight. So without further ado, let's get on with the show.
So, welcome to the show. We are back, Peroty and Night Demon.
Yeah.
Here to talk all about Destiny this week. I have played a vast amount of Iron Banner. I have enjoyed my Iron Banner. I also played some Trials at the beginning of the week before Trials went away because I wanted to get that new auto rifle.
Sneaky.
But what about you? What have you done this week?
I have also played a lot of Iron Banner this week, and I have abused a couple things with swords. I've abused the Kel's Fall with swords.
Right.
I personally didn't abuse the Nice Man and in Presage with a sword, but there was sword abuse going on. I laughed at Fallout collecting 6 people to do Desert Perpetual bosses with swords, and just absolutely wailing on them. And yeah, I played a handful of Pinnacle things, but honestly, mostly just Iron Banner. It's been really rewarding. I've been going back and forth between Eruption and Control, which I'm sure you have no thoughts on them not telling us that there would be both nodes up this week and how any of that will work.
I have notes. I have a page of notes that I've written down this week that I'm going to discuss with you. I know you're probably on the same page as me, but I wanted to kind of get it out there for Bungie to kind of listen to.
Yeah, there's no. Like I said, I'm sure you have no opinions on this, but yeah, basically, I was just jumping back and forth between which of these give me extra drops. Eruption gives me extra drops. Let's play some Eruption, and then let's go to the tower and take 5 and whatever. Then let's go see. Okay, are there any extra drops in Control? All right, let's go back to Control. So I just was hopping between the two. Eruption still on a great game mode. I did witness the secret greatness of Blue Screen, who got a 6.5 KD at one point. That just blew me away. So just it goes to show anybody can have a great game at any given time. But yeah, like Iron Banner has always felt like an event worth playing. Because yes, while it is PvP, which half the people are now moaning, going, "Oh, PvP," but the number of things they throw at you and the amount of gear, I think I went from like 320 something to about the cusp of 370 now this week.
Yeah,
mostly just playing Iron Banner because every drop isn't a +5 or anything incredible, but like if I'm getting 2 or 3 or 4 maybe drops at the end of
in
things,
each slot, yeah,
like, and all of those numbers are going up. Every couple matches, I'm going up 3 or 4 light level, like in practically every slot, except for kinetic weapons. I just apparently don't deserve a kinetic weapon of any sort. None of those are dropping, but which is just I think just Bungie magical RNG. They're like, we're just not going to give you these. But armor has been increasing, and I've gotten plenty of finite impactors that I've infused or tossed away because I don't care about them. But yeah, it was good. And yeah, I got my first tier 5 drop this week doing one of our Kel's Fall runs. I got a Jurisprudent tier 5, which I think had Rhyme Stealer and Headstone on it. So that'll go nicely with the Stasis build. I was like, that's actually not a terrible roll. Unlike some of the other tier 4s I got early on from Solstice that were absolutely horrible. But yeah, it's been fun, and I have to give Bungie credit right off on the top. for not disabling the lightweight swords in one day like they said they were going to. Because it's been great fun running around and just taking out champions with a single sword swipe. Taking out bosses with a single sword swipe. Like, it's fun. It's not hurting anything. The game honestly needs something right now. I mean, the Stern bug is still out there too, but this is just a super easy thing to take advantage of, and you're not hurting anyone. You're just knocking over things a little bit quicker than you would before. Enjoy. At least until Tuesday, when you may be hearing this, in which case you've missed it. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, it's definitely something that they needed to keep, to kind of keep people playing, just for the fun of kind of wailing on the old raid bosses, and even like the new raid bosses before the epic raid comes out. Obviously, it was just nice to kind of be able to do something, and the same with the reclaim missions, being able to go in there with the Sturm and the Drain combination, and really racking up the melees for the Titan, and throwing my hammer and just kind of bonking people, and then standing in my pool of fire, and people just attacking you, and kind of you just like, yeah, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to maybe punch somebody that comes in, and if there's a boss that comes in, I'm just going to one punch them. And it was it's just been, like I said last week, I had so much fun with that. And then that sword came out and I was like, oh my god, what can we do with the sword? But then I got distracted with Iron Banner because Iron Banner was out. But I did try and go, and I've got one more mission left to do in the Pale Heart to get my Macrocosm, which I think was the final mission on Iconoclasm. And the first mini boss that you kind of come up against is a Tormentor. And I did find that I needed to shoot the shoulder pads of the Tormentor before I used the sword. So I got the crossbow to drop last week in Reclaim, and I used that to shoot off its 2 shoulder pads, and then swap to the sword, which then took away my ammo, which was quite cool. And then I just one shot that poor old Tormentor. And then I got to the next bit, and it was one of those horrible little fallen guys that you have to shoot in the front and then punch in the back. And doing it solo, I couldn't do it. I couldn't kind of get round behind him as a Titan. I did try a couple of times, and I thought, I'm going to need to bring somebody along with me to do this part. It's just,
that's irritating. Yeah, the number of times I've now said in the last day or two, oh no, heavy brick. Blue, watch out for the heavy brick. Careful, there's a heavy over there. For the first time in my life, I've been trying to avoid heavy ammo because, we were able to load up a couple of things without the locked loadouts. So we could just swap heavy a couple times to get, to burn our ammo for when you rally and don't think about it, or just pick up a brick somewhere. But yeah, the number of times I've been actively avoiding heavy ammo drops, I'm going, this is going to come back to bite me. At some point, Bungie's going to say, oh, you don't want heavy? Well, fine. We'll stop giving you heavy again. Like, no, I was just kidding. I was just for the short term.
Yeah. I turn my ammo generation right down so I don't get any heavy. I don't want it. Don't give it to me.
Not interested. I want to fight them bare knuckles, man to man. No ammo in the sword.
Yeah. So Iron Banner this week returned, and we had all that controversy that we were talking about last week with the armor set, which then Bungie came out and said, oh, by the way, we're going to give you a set. And it's not the Gladiator set that we thought would be the set, but it is a different set that was available to kind of swap out. I can't remember the name of it now. The thing is, when you go and inspect it on the thumbnail, or even through Destiny Night Manager, it's still called the Iron Beryllium set for each class, and it's like, that's really strange. So
yeah, it's not really the Iron. I mean, it is the Iron Beryllium set, but we're gonna swap out the things. Did I put? I'm just looking in the note roundup. I know they tweeted about it. Did I put?
They did tweet about it. I wasn't sure whether we actually picked up on it last week because of recording on the Saturday. Sometimes we catch the stuff that comes out after the TWAB so that we can then go over it. But
yeah, there was, and that maybe there was something that dropped right afterwards. I was like, you guys wait until we finish recording, don't you, to tell us these things? Yeah. So let's see. Well, this was 3 days ago, so this would have been the 17th.
I think it was on the Tuesday.
Bungie's replacing the recycled Iron Banner set with the Ancient Majesty set. The visuals for the Earned Iron Banner set have been replaced, and we'll use those for the Ancient Majesty set. There's words. The set bonus functionality will remain the same, but we may change the name of the set bonus to better match the new look of the armor. So, the perks and the functionality of the set bonus will all be the same, but they may change the name of the set bonus. So if you're building into it and you've got some of it, don't throw it away. They're not going to change it on you. They might just change the name of things down the line.
Yeah, and that's just like the name of the perk set. So the Iron Biochromate set, which I had trouble last week kind of reading it. I thought Biochromatic? No, it's Biochromate. Iron Biochromate. I'm not saying it again now. That's it. I've messed it up again. But that's the name that they might change, because I'm guessing that went along with the Iron Beryllium name of it. So they'll change it to be whatever. And the new set does look really nice, and it looks very pretty. But yeah, it's should we talk about the set first? Because
sure, like that felt like after all the drama of last week, I guess like the happiest solution we could have come to, if we were going to come to a solution after all this. I don't know. What do you think about it?
Well, I think it's something they needed to do to appease like the community, because when you write in a TWAB that you're going to give us a new armor set, and it turns out to be a reprised armor set, just slightly colored differently with the Armor 3.0 perks on there, it's like, is that a new armor set? No. Surely somebody somewhere went, that's not a new armor set. That is the armor set that we had previously. Why are we not giving them a new set?
Surely we meant to do this, right? When we told them this was coming, we meant to actually deliver on that promise. Yeah. Maybe?
Well, I think the thing is, when Iron Banner went away at the beginning of the Edge of Fate, we were told it was going to come back and it was going to be new and improved. And I think at that point they had in their minds that it was going to come back with a new armor set, new shader, new emblem, new this, new that. And then it's come back, and it seems to be very much like every other thing that's kind of come back, including the portal, that it's half finished, but they've had to bring it back because they said they were bringing it back. Like, like we've had with the portal. It's like, well, we can't kind of delay any further, and it's got to come back, and we haven't got enough time to kind of finish it now. So if we give them what we've got now, and then maybe next time it comes back around, we'll give them something else. Like, we've got that reprised weapon. It's like, nobody wants that reprised weapon whatsoever. I've not seen one video that says this is worth getting. It's just...
Yeah, no, I saw Astacross try to use it with Fallout, and they were both like, yeah, this is still not good.
It's a tiered weapon.
No reason.
But
I mean, I think it was Destiny Fun Plays put out hey, we got our first tiered weapon in Iron Banner, which I didn't watch all the way because I'm sure it was like, yeah, it exists, but And I'm sure if you look hard enough, like anything else, I'm sure you could find something good about it. But yeah, the finite impactor that's back. But yeah, no, I have not been killed by it one time that I've noticed.
No.
Which should tell you something. If it's
and I
good,
think I even mocked Blue for actually having it on his person, but he was using it as part of the bonus system, which we'll kind of get onto in a second. But yeah, and just to throw in those other two weapons, and possibly the crossbow as kind of bait to get people to kind of play it. I mean, the crossbow, yeah, that would have been nice incentive. Like, you can possibly get the crossbow to drop in there as well, but to not have any actual reprised, I mean, just like I said last week, to have the reprised scout rifle that we got just at the end of the final shape to come back as a tiered weapon would have been better than what we got, because it was like
great.
Because it would have I think it still would have been classed as a new weapon, and to include it into the tiered system would have been really, really cool. But we normally get a reprised weapon and a new weapon, and I think that would have slightly appeased the community. Yes, it came back at the end of that, the last expansion, but it's come back and it's a tiered one, and it is a really good scout rifle. It had the hill clip and kill clip on there as well, so it was worth kind of people farming at the end of like the final shape. But the armor set, coming back to that, it's, I think, where they kind of gone down that path of saying it's a new set, and then I don't know if they just kind of copied and pasted it into must have been last week's TWAB where they said, "Oh, Iron Banner's coming back. It's got a new set. It's got a new emblem. And it's got a new shader." And I said to you last week when I was doing my research about the new set, the new shader, and the new emblem, I found the new emblem. I found a picture of the Iron Beryllium set, which was on their Bungie press kit page, because you can go there and you can grab some like the images that they use for like press kits and things and overlays. So I regularly check that each week to see if there's anything that they've kind of put in the game and they like kind of release some of the pictures. So they put a few bits in there. I mean, there's some really cool Renegades pictures in there if you want to kind of grab them for screensavers and things like that. And I couldn't find the shader anywhere. I looked in all the databases. I was searching light.gg, and I went to kind of the shader tracker sites as well and tried to find it that way and just tried to narrow it down to kind of season 27 and things like that. Just could not find the shader anywhere. There is no shader. And it's like, it's not even on that track. We've got the emblem and we've got those holofoil weapons on there, but there's no shader. And nobody, I think, has even picked up on it. It's like, well, where's this shader?
Yeah, there was one discussion on Reddit I saw because it specifically called it like, hey, like basically, yeah, I come and play Iron Banner, I do it for the shader and the emblems. Like, I have not seen it, and people were like, oh yeah, no, it's there, it's part of a drop, and they were like, I'm not. They were just like, like respectfully, can you tell me the name of it? Can you show me one? Because they're
It's
like,
not.
it's one of those like, I don't want to not believe you outright, but I don't believe you because no one has seen this. Like I have not gotten anything to drop, and I've gotten another crossbow dropping out of Iron Banner, which I also just want to, I feel like it's worth highlighting again. Too late in the week now for people who aren't playing it, but it is available again as a very low, whatever percentage drop, but it can drop in Iron Banner. But yeah, no, there's no shader. I don't believe there's a shader. I think they just forgot. Someone forgot to put it in because no, there isn't.
Because even dismantling armor, like sometimes it will give you a shader that you didn't have or you've already got, and it just pops up on the screen and goes, oh, by the way, because a lot of the things when we were playing Iron Banner previously and you dismantled some of the armors or you just at the end of a game, it should have given you a shader and stuff that you didn't actually have, a bit like Trials works. So at the moment, if you're playing Trials and you haven't got anything from past Trial seasons, you can have a random chance to get like a shader or a sparrow or a ship to drop, or even the ghost shell to drop at the end of the match, but it's a really old one. And Iron Banner used to do that with like the shaders and things, and I kind of
not this year.
not this time. It's like I dismantled stuff, and no, it doesn't even show up. But
so I've dismantled a good amount of armor because
Yeah.
I'm sort of at the point now where if anything, just lower tier drops, I'm just dismantling and going. I'm not going to look at you. I'm not going to think hard about you. I'm not going to put you in the vault forever. We're just going to delete you. Like if you're a tier 2 or anything, and even some of the tier 3 stuff, I'm like, but you're not the kind I'm looking for. So I'm just not going to waste time with you. But yeah,
Yeah.
I've dismantled a good bit of armor on the Titan and the Warlock both, and I have not seen a shader anywhere. Which by now, I should have gotten one of them to drop if they exist.
Yeah, I mean, if they just said that you're getting a new Guardian Glow thing with like the stag thing, that's pretty interesting. You get the finite impact, you get some reroll chips, you get prisms, golf balls, whatever from that reward track, but you don't get a shader. And with the armor that we kind of got, and I was talking to Blue and I was talking to Noble as well. And I was actually talking to Kenny, who joined my stream on Wednesday. I was doing the Iron Banner stream on Wednesday, and this guy was chatting to me in the thing saying, "Oh, I'm at the moment I'm doing kind of comp carries. I do trial carries. I've just been watching your gameplay. Looks quite fun. Do you want to hook up?" So we hooked up. And we were talking about Iron Banner and playing Iron Banner.
Nice.
And normally with Iron Banner, you can equip Iron Banner gear to give yourself bonuses, and with the bonuses, I think it worked out every piece that you put on. So you could put on 4 pieces and have your exotic. And then if you put on your emblem and a couple of weapons, it would max out your bonus for your multiplier bonus. And like I said last week in the TWAB, there was no details about where this multiplier, if we were having a multiplier, if there was any bonuses and things like that. So when I started playing Iron Banner, I was like, well, if I equip Iron Banner gear, it it must give me a bonus. And I stumbled across it by pure luck that there are multipliers to give yourself better bonuses in Iron Banner. And talking to Kenny about it, and I was like, what I found is that I can equip any old Iron Banner gear and it will give me those bonuses. But the problem is, if I go and look in my collections and put on ornaments for the Iron Banner, which normally would happen if you had an Iron Banner piece of gear, you could put an Iron Banner ornament on top of it and it would double the multiplier for you. It was kind of a little kind of glitch that we all kind of used so that we didn't have to then look all Iron Bannery. We could just have like the Iron Banner mark and then put an other Iron Banner ornament mark on top, and it would count as 2 towards our multiplier. Even if you didn't have Iron Banner stuff, if you had the ornaments unlocked, you could then just put it on your regular gear and get the bonuses, which was really cool. So this time coming around, I've unlocked loads of ornaments so that I'd mix and match with the different looks that I'd had. And I was going through applying on my kind of new gear because I didn't want to kind of lose, because I was using the Solstice gear, which was the tiered sets, and I wanted to keep the bonuses for that. So I thought if I put on the armor ornaments, at least I'll then kind of get these bonuses or these multipliers. And I was putting on these various different sets and nothing was happening. But if I put on an actual an old Iron Banner armor piece, it would then show me that the multiplier was working, which really didn't, I'd unlocked some of these ornaments for those gear pieces, but it wasn't actually working. The ornaments weren't actually working. And it wasn't until I was discussing with Kenny that we found an armor ornament set that he was using, which seemed to work. And through investigation, it's called the Named Iron Lord set, and it's from Warmind. And it's actually the all different named pieces. So I think there was Nerwin's Mark and Timmer's chess piece and things like that. It was, you can't look through your collections and go, oh, it's that one. If you're searching to put it on, you have to actually know the names of them.
So you can't just search for iron something and find the one.
Yeah, I mean, you can go
it's
into
all
your collections and then look at, I think it was under competitive, and then scroll through that. And if you've got it should say it's the Named Iron Lord set, and each piece is named something different. So it makes it quite hard when you actually go down to your ornament unlockers to find it. They're all named different things. So I found it, unlocked it all, and it all applied. And the funny thing is that set is the set that the Iron Beryllium set would have looked like. Really bizarre. And that's the only set that the ornaments I found work. It's just
interesting.
I can't remember the names of the other ornament sets off the top of my head, but I went through applying all these other ornaments that we had that I'd unlocked, and it's really bizarre.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, that's what I was sort of wondering. Yeah, because like this is the first Iron Banner we're getting. Like I'm using it just purely as a light power grind. Like I'm not worried about like getting the extra bonuses because and also I've just had time to play Iron Banner this week. So yeah, I hadn't even investigated until you told me about that this was even in the game still, that it's under the modifiers. I'm like, Bungie, do you think I'm going to read every modifier in your activity to see what's there and what's not? Because it's Iron Banner. I'm like, I didn't even look at the the modifiers list for Iron Banner.
Yeah, that's the strange thing.
I understand it's one of these 2 game modes. I don't. What more do I need to know?
Beforehand, when we played Iron Banner, you could look as you selected the game mode, and it would tell you down in the corner to say, oh, how many pieces of gear that you had on and the multiplier you had, even before you kind of jumped in. And then as you were flying in and it was loading and trying to get like the teams together, you could then go down to where it said control, eruption, whatever, and highlight over where it said your bonus, and it would pop up on the screen and say, oh, you've got 2 of 5 and your emblem kind of thing, and quite easy to kind of find. Whereas this, you have to go in and select the game mode from either like the Iron Banner event or in Crucible, select it, and then where it comes up along the bottom underneath where control or eruption is, it says matchmaking, and then it's got modifiers. And if you highlight modifiers and select it, it then goes through the active modifiers that you've got for the Iron Banner, which have changed. You've got a rule set for whichever kind of game mode, which was there beforehand. It tells you about the matchmaking. It also tells you whether you've got a quitter penalty, And it's also telling you that not swap is in there as well. So they've added not swap, which would have been handy to know in last week's TWAB. So to find where this is would have been handy to know. And then to know not swap is actually being put in there. The quitter penalty thing is also being put in there. Although it says if you quit out, it won't be held against you. So you can quit out. But the funny thing is you can't actually quit out. You have to change character or turn off your console or whatever to actually get out of the game. But it's in there that it tells you about your multiplier. And the Iron Banner emblem counts towards one of the multipliers. And I think it goes up by 2% or 0.2% each thing that you have on, up to a maximum of 5 pieces. Then you can get a 1.10 times multiplier, and then that's it. So yeah.
Apparently I'm looking at Iron Banner control this morning. There's also a Shaxx training weights multiplier where your ability cooldowns are increased. Who knew that was a thing? Yeah, and then, the multiplayer, the matchmaking, the control rules. And this sort of highlights one of many little issues I have with the portal. We've put so many things behind menus and in screens that pop up, and Bungie is so often likes to kick you out of those menus and refresh your view. Like if you're matchmaking or loading in, like just trying to go and like turn weekly challenges. Sometimes I have to go to the weekly challenge menu 3 or 4 times, as it just kicks me out of that menu because, oh, we found a match. Oh, we're loading in. Oh, we're flying in space. I don't need to know that, Bungie. I don't need to see that. Let me go turn in the thing I was turning in, or swapping the weapon, or infusing, or whatever. So you've hidden all this behind a menu that you're going to keep closing on me over and over and over and over again.
Yep.
I wish some of this was, we have this lovely screen here in the portal where we've got Eruption, the Crucible, matchmaking on modifiers, by estimated score, whatever, and all this empty screen real estate. You could have put the rules of it, the things we had before, where I can see, hey, there's an Iron Banner multiplier. Here's how you can get to it. Here's the rules of Iron Banner. You could put those on the screen or display those somewhere without me having to go into the modifiers list, find the little eye information icon, hold my mouse over that, and then hope that it doesn't close while I'm trying to read it.
Yeah.
So yeah, at least it's there. I mean, at least I'll give you partial credit for telling people about things, but then I'm taking away.
But no, that's the thing. They haven't told anybody. That's the whole thing.
Well, no, but I mean, like it's in the game.
It's in the game.
So I will assign again. I'm assigning some credit for it at least being in the game. However, if you don't know to look for it, and more importantly, don't know where to look for it, I'm now taking away 3/4 of that credit because no one is going to find it. And your army of content creators are not covering Iron Banner because there's really no reason to. Other than saying, hey, it's up and you gave us a weapon that nobody wants to use. I still haven't actually seen, like I saw, I was sort of looking to see, is anybody covering anything at all? New weapons, Iron Banner, anything.
Yeah.
And it's just, no. It's just, Bungie, your army of people who are doing all of your free press and promo for you are no longer doing it. So you're going to need to tell us something. What Iron Banner is up, what's happening. Yeah.
I mean, I like to put together a guide of how Iron Banner works each season because it does slightly change each season. And then, I include the weapons that are in there, all the season, the seals and the triumphs and things like that. They've changed all of that as well. But I had to wait until the event is up to get the information. And then by the time I've kind of got a video out, because, I'm not an Aztecross, I can't get it out the next kind of day. It's going to be over and done with. And then the next time it comes around, is it going to be changed as well? Are there going to be added weapons?
Yeah, there's no way to know until the until it's live to be able to tell people what to expect, because you've just basically said Iron Banner's back. It'll have all these new things. The shader's missing MIA. You've had to go and update the armor in real time, where the thumbnails are the thumbnails were still wrong on the armor. It was crashing Xboxes when you tried to preview the armor earlier this week. Like there's just you've done this about face because again the communication coming out would be, the communication is good. the link between the communication and the people doing the work that's being communicated is not so good. And I'm sure part of that is because they are scrambling, they are trying to quickly stay on top of things and not, it's better. I think it's better than them just not saying anything and then us going weeks and weeks and weeks and saying, so what's happening with this? Looking at you, Mayhem in the portal that never showed up, still hasn't showed up, may or may not ever be a thing.
Don't get me started on that. Why
Just
put
haven't
Eruption,
mentioned it at all.
Mini Mayhem up the same week that you've got Mayhem up? It's like, why?
But not in the portal, so no one's going to play it, or very few people. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to give credit where it's due because things aren't good. Like things are not in a good spot. The game is not in a good space, but I'm not here just to scream about things.
No,
and no one. I'm not big enough for anyone to call me a Bungie shill because no one knows who I am. So it's great. But it's like I'm going to give credit where it's due, but I'm also going to give criticism where it's due. And yeah, I mean, this has not been a good experience. This has not been, the game's not in a good spot. Like you're telling us we're getting things we're simply not getting. But at least at least the communication is getting back on track. And again, like they're in a state where the big expansion is floundering and nothing is going well. And we've had a change in management and things are happening, but it's going to take time to happen. But I just wish I wish they weren't putting their thumb on their eye quite so often with the communication stuff. Cause it's just, again, and I'm sure it's, hey, Team A says this will be ready to go. Team B says, all right, yes, this can be added to the TWAB. Yes, this will be ready to ship. Oh, okay. Didn't actually quite make it ready. We found a bug at the last minute. We had to pull it, whatever the reason. And that just didn't get communicated. That just didn't get updated. Like, some of the things that made it into the patch, the patch notes with the changing of the stronghold and the one warlock exotic, that they were going to undo those adjustments, those nerfs.
Yeah.
And it didn't quite happen. That they, are like, well, we're going to do this. Maybe we'll think about it. I mean, they're trying. They're moving.
Yeah, I know they are trying,
but it's still. Yeah, but and this is not to excuse them. This is not to say everything's good, but we're moving the right direction. But yeah, it's still just super frustrating not knowing. I mean, I was watching a data video this morning or last night where he's like, "So I still don't really know how to tell you what you can farm, how often you can farm it, or if it's farmable, because just none of that's clear information." And Bungie, just like everything is in that state of, I can't tell you anything with certainty because none of us are certain about anything.
Yeah, beforehand, you could, I mean, I know we joked about the Crucible modes changing on me every couple of weeks, but it was like, it was ever predictable that you could go and do Last Wish, you could do this dungeon, you could do that dungeon, you could, there was set patterns to how things kind of worked in Destiny, and you could say, right, you can go here this week, you can go there that week, and do X, Y, Z, and this is how you get your pinnacles, this is how you get your powerfuls. But it has kind of lost that, and the idea of the portal, from what we were told, was to help onboard people, clear up some of those confusing things of, you go to the director and everything's kind of flashing at you. Whereas now, you go to the portal, there may be one thing flashing at you, but then there's a lot of hidden things that you don't really know. Like we were saying about the Iron Banner stuff. Iron Banner has been really good. I've really enjoyed playing Iron Banner, and I think that's because I like playing Iron Banner. But it would have been nice to know last week that this is coming. This is what, like, the portal's going to have the two different game modes that we always have, and we're going to start with X, Y, or Z. And if you want to look at your bonuses of trying to get your multipliers, this is where it's going to be. It's just that, and the modifiers, the update to the modifiers of, because these weren't in Iron Banner beforehand that we knew about. The Shax's training weights. That, as far as we weren't aware, they didn't kind of publicize that was the case. So, I mean, last week when I was doing This Week in Destiny videos, I was like, I'm pretty sure they are going to have the two game modes because they always have the control and they always have something else. But it was like, well, I need to show people this because otherwise it's going to be. I'm showing them the old directory of the two different playlists, and I don't want to show them that. So I want to show them what it would potentially look like in the portal. So I had to create my own little video with taking screenshots and things of what it could possibly look like, changing the colors to green on the control playlist and changing some of the names and things to say, oh, this is going to be Iron Banner Quick Play, because I didn't know which version we were going to kind of get. And it did end up kind of looking like that when it did turn up. But it would have been nice to know beforehand for definite the stuff that I'm kind of telling people that this is what's going to happen. It's just,
it's very hard to tell people, with any certainty about anything. Yeah, when it's just like, what, are we going to have both modes up? Like, it would make sense. The portal clearly can accommodate for this, but are we going to have two modes? And which, I'll say two of the three. I think Fortress sort of being our third, new current whatever Iron Banner mode, like which of them is it going to be, Bungie? Like, it's with it only being, and again now it's only up for the 1 week, right? It's not a 2-week event, it's just up for this current week. So there is no Fortress and Control next week, which again I was pretty certain of, but then even as I was saying it, going, is that true? Because like, it just, you need to give us, if you're changing things, tell us. If you're not changing things, tell us. Like you said,
I didn't know whether it was going to be, because I'm sure when I was reading it when it first kind of launched that day, that with the two different game modes, Control's always there because they said Control's always going to be there.
Right. Yeah.
But with Eruption,
Control's the default.
Yeah, with Eruption kind of coming, the way that I was reading it, and it may have just been the way I was interpreting it, that Eruption was going to be the game mode for a day, and then it would rotate to a different game mode in the Iron Banner selection, so that it would be Tribute, or it would be Fortress, or it would be Rift, and it would rotate each day, but Control would still constantly be there. So if you wanted to kind of just play Control, but the other game modes would rotate in and out, but it wasn't. It is how it's always been, Control and a second game mode.
Control and Control's friend, which you get to guess what that might be.
Yeah.
And this is just sort of like a microcosm for what the entire game feels like, and trying to figure out what's, even yesterday I was on with Blue and met up with a buddy of his. He had, I think, someone he'd run into, Banana Ham, recently, who he was running some higher level content stuff with, and we were just trying to play the game of, well, if we try to do Presage, I know I'm pretty sure they tweaked the timer in Presage, and yes, they did. At least so it's not, wiping you halfway through. But we're going, so is this working? Did they fix the blight? Should I be doing anything with a blight in it? Or are those still one-shotting us? Like, everything just is so complicated to try to remember what's actually working in the game. What's, and what's so buggy that it's going to, there's no point to doing this activity because it's just going to kill us halfway through. We're just going to get wiped. We're getting one revive. Is that because we're meant to get one revive? Because I'm playing with, two people who are above 450 light? Or are we getting one revive because the game just says, we're just going to take your revives away and we don't think you should have them? Like, it just, everything is just so uncertain and so unclear, and it's so frustrating trying to go. I mean, it's like playing the game itself. I had a really good time knocking over bosses with swords yesterday. Like, I've really been enjoying Iron Banner, other than a couple of just super laggy, buggy people, which again may have just been time I was playing or a random laggy person, but overall, like, the connections have been good, the competition has been good. Like, I think we've mercied the other team one time, and I've been mercied one or two times. Like, they've been pretty pretty competitive matches overall. Like, there hasn't been a lot of blowouts on either side.
Yeah.
So, like, I can't, like, when I'm in the game playing it, I can't really complain. I'm getting killed by a plethora of different weapons. It's not like, Might of Multi-Tool, definitely good. Everyone's favorite hand cannon, insert your favorite hand cannon here. They're represented. But it's not like, oh, everyone is using weapon X, and I'm so tired of getting killed by X. Like, in the game, it feels good. When I'm doing these PvE activities, it feels good. Things are working when they're working. There's just so much uncertainty about what's working. It makes it hard to get excited to play the harder level content if you're not, I mean, one, I'm letting Blue, choose everything because otherwise it's unclear if he'll get any rewards at all out of it.
Yeah.
And two, it's unclear what to choose to know if it's going to be so broken that we're not going to be able to succeed, that we're not going to be able to get through it. It's so frustrating. It's like when the game works beautifully. I just don't know which part of the games work right now.
Yeah. And I mean, I give them props with the seal. It's a lot easier this time around to get your seal and then gild your Iron Banner seal. So
yeah, I did it without even realizing I had done it. I had seen things popping up going, oh, you did this. Oh, you got some goals. Oh, you played matches.
yeah,
And it was like, hey, you've guilded this. I'm like, oh, did I?
Yeah.
had not
it's
entirely
really
noticed.
bizarre how quickly it went, and it goes on the reward track. So if you get to 15 on the reward track and you get Guardian kills and things, beforehand you had to reset your Iron Banner rank. So you had to get to rank 16, reset it, and sometimes it would take me 2 Iron Banners to do that one part.
Yeah.
But this time, done it, dusted.
Yeah, it felt very quick. It felt, like I said, it popped up. I was like, oh, you've done this. You've guilded this. I was like, oh, did I? Yeah. It went so quickly. It was kind of nice to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, there was so many things of like winning so many matches and getting the rank reset, which is just a time commitment. Just you're gonna put the time in to get that done, and sometimes you do. Yeah. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you don't. Now the only real time commitment is the complete the event rank track. Which I know people were saying if you did on Reclaim, I think basically like if you did like the intro quest, like go talk to Devrim, go run a Reclaim, go talk to Devrim again. I think it was just the one Reclaim or one or two. It wasn't long. I think they're saying if you did that on every character, that gave you basically a full rank. So that I don't know if Iron Banner gives the same amount of rank and XP, but that might be a little quicker way if you're trying to just if you want to get it done without having to play so much Iron Banner, maybe consider switching characters and just seeing if that makes things go any quicker. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's only the one opening quest, but Saladin seems to be a little sad sack in the tower. It's like, come and see me and get all your loot, but don't really come and see me and get your loot because the button that you push is the same button that's in the portal. It's like, I don't know why I'm really standing here. So he could have been retired, bless him, or he could have been a hologram on Keitel's ship. But
it's weird because I keep going to the portal, going to the tower, saying, "I'm here for the postmaster," and that's kind of it. There's no reason to talk to any of the rest of you people. You're just here. I go see Zavala once a week to pick up my weapon and my 2 armor pieces, but
yeah,
there's no reason. Again, just another part of the game that we just sort of, I would say power crept out, but just portaled out of, and just like, okay, you guys can stand here, but there's just no reason to interact with any of you anymore. You have all these weapons that don't do me any good.
Well, you say that some of them are still really good, the Iron Banner weapons, and I've got a video from Destiny Fun Police, that one of his "Go grab this now" videos, and I was like, yeah, how good is this? I mean, is this something? I mean, it is recycled content that he's done before, but the Lethal Abundance auto rifle is the weapon that he's highlighting, and I swear he's highlighted it before, and it's got. Let me just go to my weapon. So the one that he recommends is Target Lock and Keep Away, and because of the perks that or the mods that you can put on your artifact this season, and Fallout has done a video on the artifact mods as well. There are 2 mods on there that you can equip that when you are getting strand hits, it will generate a threadling, and it works in PvP. And
yes, it does.
It works really well in PvP. And I had one that had the Target Lock and the Keep Away, but I thought, I've got so much glimmer and I've got so many shards, I'm just going to go and stand at you and just throw stuff at you. And I got a better roll. I think the one that I had did actually have range on it, but it doesn't need range. Just some of the perks on there just give you stupid range anyway. So the one that I actually got to drop, the second one to drop that was really good that I've kept, has got a reload masterwork, or Reload Speedmaster work, but it also had steady round, so it bumped up the stability on there. And I had small bore on there, but the range is 90. The stability is 61. I then put on a ballistics weapon mod, which gives me an extra bit of range and stability on there. And it's doing crazy amounts of fun. The ranges that it can hit with, I mean, it was competing with scout rifles, not necessarily all the time winning, but most of the time I was winning. So yeah, I will include the video from Destiny Fun Police this week, and I'll also include the Fallout video because he goes over the mods that have come with this new part of Ash and Iron, and the two threadling ones are the ones you want to kind of pay attention to because they're the ones that actually work. And in Fallout's video, he was talking about there's an extra threadlings one.
I either think same thing because I'm sure it's like the threadling proliferation and then the pack tactics which are both
the pack tactics.
Yeah, which are both threadling based modifiers you can add to your artifact because it's I was spawning an ungodly number of threadlings on my warlock because it's just hilarious. And Kimmy Cakes was talking about it in PvP as well.
I just had the basic amount because I was using my Arc Titan with the weapon and just generating the threadlings. And in Fallout's video, he was saying that when the threadling gets the kill, and I'm not sure if it actually that actually works. The ramping up of the damage in PvP, it might do because he didn't actually test it in PvP. He just tested it in the firing range. But if it gets a kill, it then does more. The next threadling that's generated does more damage, and then so on and so forth. And he wiped out the entire floor of that shooting range and got up to like 18. I think it was 18 kills in total. And he said it just wouldn't stop. It just kept getting higher and higher. In his video, he's even got a chart of how much extra damage it was doing. But I was looking to see if there was a video to say, oh, this is actually working in PvP. Because if that's working in PvP and you get a threadling kill, because that's what was actually happening sometimes. Because I was getting the hits on the other player, it was generating the threadling, and sometimes that threadling would kill somebody, and then without me kind of getting the final blow, the threadling would actually get the blow. So I'm hoping that it does kind of stack in PvP, probably not as much in PvE. But yeah, those two. Anyway, I was getting distracted by the weapons and things. So some of the weapons are still really good to get from Saladin, and Destiny Fun Police did point that one out. But yeah, it just seems really weird that he's there with the reprise stuff and access to the portal, apart from like the quest that you kind of pick up to start off with.
Yeah, but just sort of standing there like, hey guys, I'm here. And it's like, what why? What are you here for? What are you, what's your purpose?
And even playing Iron Banner this week, I was hoping to get like tier 5, and I was getting tier 4s to drop all over the place. I'm thinking on some of the descriptions, it says to a maximum of tier 4. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm never going to get. It's obviously something that's built into it that you don't get tier 5 from Iron Banner. But then I actually did catch somebody put a video up saying, hang on a minute, Bungie, whoa, hold on. And all the drops that they got. And there was about 3 or 4 that were tier 5 Iron Banner gear. So it does exist, just not for me at this point in time, because I can't get my Guardian rank up past whatever. I mean, like you were saying, I went from, I think it must have been about 350 all the way up. I think I'm up 415 at the moment. So I've gone up quite a few ranks. And I've come across an issue where I can't progress my Guardian rank any further with the tree and doing all those different things because it's holding me back on the complete challenges. And it's really bizarre because I completed enough challenges at the beginning part of the Edge of Fate to get that large pile of bright dust. And it says we are week 9 of however many weeks we've got left of the Edge of Fate expansion, although Ash and Iron did kind of cut us off and give us a new reward track for paid and unpaid. And it also kind of took away the challenges that we'd done up to week 8 or week 9, and then up to week 8. And then week 9 and week 10, there's only 7 in each. So I can't progress my rank into, I think it's Justicar, which was the rank 9 or 10, whichever one I'm stuck in at the moment. But I need to do 15 challenges. So I need to wait until the week after Iron Banner because it's not actually taken into account all those other challenges I did at the beginning part of the season because it thinks we're in a new season, even though it's not. It's a major free expansion to Edge of Fate. It just... I don't know whether it's the Guardian ranks that's holding me back or if it's the light level that's holding me back because...
Or if it's a bug, or this is how it's meant to be done. Maybe, yeah, no, I had the same thought. It's like, so you know, because I tried to look at past challenges, because you can see, you know, your current challenges. Yeah, they're all week 9, and week 1 through 8 just doesn't exist because there's a past challenges tab that you click on and nothing happens. Just it loads nothing. Sort of like when you go to the gunsmith, who now I think everyone has pointed out, his voice actor has changed for some reason. And there's 2 bounties you can buy. Again, why I'm not entirely sure, but you can buy 2 bounties, and you can buy the additional bounty that right now is just a generous deposit of glimmer to the gunsmith, because you buy the additional bounty and you get nothing.
Okay.
So if for some reason you're trying to burn glimmer, you can go to the gunsmith and spend, I think it's 3,000 glimmer on the, you know, additional daily bounty or whatever, but you get no bounty in return. It's just, you know, again, I mean, it's just, you know, one of the pile of things that are broken that, you know, isn't really hurting anything. But yeah, no, if you're trying to buy additional bounties and spending glimmer for nothing, you're not crazy. You're spending glimmer for nothing. Just goes into a hole somewhere.
But yeah, and so I don't know whether that's the thing that's kind of holding me back from getting the tier 5, whether I haven't reached 450 power because I'm at 415, or if it's the Guardian rank thing that's holding me back from getting tier 5 drops. And I really do wish Iron Banner, and like I said, with Heavy Metal and the other events, was so much like Solstice, with throwing the tier 5 loot at you, or the tier 4 loot at you, and if you're a certain level, you were getting the tier 5s to drop. That was, or you know, it was so good to kind of get that stuff. And it's just, I wish, because Iron Banner's only around for like a week, and we don't know when it's coming back again. If it is coming back again, hopefully it is, you know, a couple of more times before December. But then we have got like a packed October kind of coming up, and then after that with November, just maybe there'll be a couple in November. But it wouldn't, like we said last week, it wouldn't hurt to let people get tier 4, tier 5, and bump up their light to 500 or even 550. Because you're taking it away in Renegades. I just don't get it. It would entice people to come and play your events for the week. So if you're not interested in playing the Epic Raid next week and the contest mode and all of that, this week you could be, you know, log in and play Iron Banner and get tier 4s, tier 5s to drop, and really, you know, hike up your light even further than what is actually happening in Iron Banner at the moment. Because I think I found at the same point that Blue has, that once you get to 400, it's a very, very slow climb to get even higher and get your pinnacles to help you. It's not fun at that point, because you're kind of, you either have to kind of grind your light and go and play the solo ops and hope you're kind of getting the drops, or you're like Blue, you know, bless him, didn't really want to play Iron Banner, but it was kind of slowly progressing him up in his light. And if Iron Banner wasn't there, I don't know if I would be forcing myself to be playing like the solo ops or anything else just because of the light. I'm interested in the tiered stuff because I want to kind of start putting the builds together. But I'm just...
Yeah, he and I were talking about this yesterday, and he said something to the effect of like you have to give credit to the developers who have like negatively incentivized people like to play with each other and to play the game, because it gets harder and harder the higher you go.
Yes, that's what he was saying.
Yeah, you know, it's like you think, you know, the higher you go, the better things will get. It's like, no, the higher you go, the harder this is. It's like, why, Bungie, did we do this again? I mean, there's a trillion reasons why, but it's, it really is just, you know, just a reversal of everything they've been saying for the last however many years about, you know, play the way you want, play with your friends, do this. Well, no, because your friends aren't going to get loot. They're not gonna get any of the rewards they're looking for, because the light level differences are so much. And I know they, you know, obviously Bungie is aware, they are working on this. They are, again, in so many ways, this is our Destiny 3. And I say that precisely because with Destiny 1 and 2, the game launched, it was super broken. Things were, we had regressed in all the ways we had made progress in those, in the game to that point. And now we're undoing all the damage to get back to a good spot again. Welcome to Destiny 3, everyone. You got what you wanted.
Yeah.
Did you forget how the last two went? It really feels like that. It really feels like we're just living this through again as Destiny 3 of, it's here and it's super broken and we'll get to a good spot eventually, but it's going to be eventually. It's going to take an expansion or two.
It is. But Iron Banner is good fun. It's giving me low, and it is giving me some. I did have a couple of tier 5 drops of
Nice
portal weapons and armor, just not Iron Banner weapons and armor. So I'm like, oh,
so close, so far.
That's
away.
what I want. I want the tier 5. I'm here to farm the Iron Banner, and just And the other thing that I do not understand, it's just really mind-boggling, is your Crucible rank. I can go all the way up to Legend, cannot reset it, can't do anything. I'm Legend in Crucible, because beforehand you used to have to go back to the tower, go and speak to Shax, reset your rank, and he would kind of give you some rewards from his reward track. But he doesn't have a reward track anymore. He's as useless as Saladin. And you can't reset that. And as I said, I was when I was playing with Kenny on Wednesday, it's like he was telling me, "Oh, no, you can't reset that." And I'm like, "Really? There's no way to reset it?" Yeah, got there, Legend. That's it. End of.
No, they took the reward track out and the rank track and everything. I mean, again, like all of the times we've said, this is your Destiny 3 where it's all here and it's all half done, and the portal, like they. We went back and looked at, here's what they said the portal was going to be, and here's what the portal is currently. Obviously it fell short of their expectations or their dreams. Like it's not where they wanted it to be. And there's so many things. It's just like, okay, there's no way to do this anymore. You can rank this up, but there's simply no way to interact with it now. There's just so many, to say nothing of the big glaring issues and bugs. There's just so many small things where it's like, did you think this through entirely, or was this just a quick change you made to try to fix something? Is this just like, hey, ship part one of this and then we'll ship the other part soon? Oh, the game's super broken, we need to spend the next 3 months bug fixing and then we'll get back to what we're trying to build. It's
very bizarre. And the one thing that I did hear on, I think it was Destiny Digest this week, was that they had somebody that they play with had bought the Edge of Fate, and just the Edge of Fate. They didn't buy like the Renegades part of it. And when you buy like the Edge of Fate, you get the first season free. And they've done that beforehand with Final Shape and other things. So you buy the initial expansion, you get that first season as part of it, or when you purchase it. So the season that it's currently in, you'll get free. So this person's bought the Edge of Fate. They got the season free, but they now have to pay 1,000 silver to pay the free Ashenine major update to continue playing the game. Well, not playing the game, but to have access to. I mean, the reward track has changed, so they can only access the free part of the reward track.
Oh, so Ashenine is basically acting like a new season.
Yes.
Which I mean, it very much is. Like it's all the new season things are there.
But if you're only paying 1,000 silver just to get access to the reward track, that is, I understand it. They did say when they were explaining it way back when, and they were saying, if you wanted to get Ashenine, or if you wanted to get what comes after the Lawless season, it's going to be 1,000 silver for those parts of the seasons. But I think with that, people thought it was like the old seasons. There's stuff that you need to have. You need to buy it to have access to. And they brought up a good question of, does that include the exotic mission from Ashenine that's coming in October 7th? Is that included with you have to purchase with the 1,000 silver?
Right. Yeah. And are we basically back to a dungeon pass situation
kind
now?
of thing?
yeah, it's Bungie. Like you
It
need
makes no sense because
you need
Edge
to
of
make
Fate
this
is the
less
expansion,
confusing.
and
Yeah, we're again just putting your thumb in your eye all over again. Like why are we back to doing that? Like I understand you need money, and I understand, obviously the studio is not in a good place, et cetera, et cetera. You need to make it understandable and comprehensible what I need to buy to play your content. Like the fact that you need a guide to understand how to buy this game is insane. Like this is ridiculous. Why are we still doing this? Yeah, I was honestly surprised when with such a big push for buying Renegades. I was thinking, well, I've already bought. Well, honestly, like the number of times they push you, make sure make sure you own Renegades, make sure you buy Renegades. I honestly had the thought going, I I bought the yearly pass, I bought the season. I was like, I own Renegades, right? But like they made such a push, to buy Renegades in the in the live stream. I honestly questioned. I was like, do I need to buy Renegades on top of what I've already bought? I mean, I'm guessing again because the numbers are, their numbers are way down, and they're like, please buy this. It's Star Wars. Please buy our Star Wars thing. And I also get that a lot of people may buy just that for the Star Wars. Part of it, may not be playing Edge of Fate, may have looked at Ashen Iron and said, why would I? They've been reading everyone's reviews. So I'm sure a lot of people may come back just for the Star Wars thing, or just say, well, if you're going to reset me anyway, let me just, tune in later. But yeah, like it honestly made me question for a minute. I was like, do I own Renegades? When it comes out, do I just get this? And I was like, yeah, no, I bought the same thing I always do. I said, here's my $100 for the year. Give me all the things. Thank you very much. But yeah, it honestly made me question it. They put such an emphasis on it, which again, I don't fault them for. But it made me question. I was like, do I though? Do I own this content? Will the game see that I own this content? Maybe a better question at this point.
yeah,
but no, Iron Banner's been great fun, and yeah, it's been really nice being able to go in again, with all the struggles of playing with your friends and doing Pinnacle things. The fact that I can jump in with someone who's like 452 light level, and it brings me up to their level, so we're all playing it like 18 under versus 56 under or whatever my number would be. Like it has been really nice, being able to play with those higher level people and it bringing you up light level wise. Now, the one revive has been rough. Some of that content, some of that, maybe we'll skip this. We're not quite this good, but yeah, I mean, it's like when you're playing the game with friends and you're you're doing things for fun. You're not just no-lifing a solo activity. The game is still fun. The game is still good, which I almost feel like needs to be said. There's been so much negativity around all of it. Like the game is still good times. Yeah, there's 1,000 problems with it. I there's so many things I wish I could do and wish they would do, but I have had a really good time playing this week with Iron Banner and doing the Pinnacle stuff and doing Kel's Fall a number of times. Like it just I'm at 375 ish now. I'm not trying to race my way to the top. Yeah, like I would like the tier 5 stuff. I would like the best loot in the game. But honestly, I'm having such a good time. I had a tier 3 and tier 4 drop from Solstice of the Yeartide Apex SMG, which I basically haven't taken off since. Like it's been such a quality weapon and a good drop, and I'm really hoping that Festival of the Lost is going to be like a Solstice style. We're going to throw a lot of loot at you and make this really interesting for you all to play. Because now sitting in the tier 3, almost tier 4 range, I would expect to see a couple of 5 drops out of that. Because I was getting tier 3 drops in, I got a tier 4 drop when I was tier 1, maybe 2. Like so, I'm hoping that persists with Festival of the Lost, and they sort of treat those big, sort of like the big 4 seasonal activity, the yearly activities as like, here's a place to throw loot at the player. Here's a place to reward the player for being here, for engaging, for playing the game and getting a lot of loot out of it. Bungie, please do that. Which, please. I have no confidence this will happen, but it would be really nice if it does. Please.
Well, we've given our feedback this week of Iron Banner, and
they are listening.
Apparently, they are.
I don't know if they're listening to us, but they're listening to someone. So All we can do is record into the void and hope someone listens.
Just Noble. Just Noble.
Yeah. Noble, Blue, handful of other people.
Yeah. So, should we talk about This Week in Destiny? Or
Yeah,
the
I think we should.
TWAB for the 18th of September?
Isn't that what we have been doing? But yeah, I guess we'll talk about Bungie's version of it too.
Officially, yeah. So we are going to be covering big power climb improvements. We have covered that the Iron Banner is back. We touched on the Desert Perpetual Epic Raid coming soon, and the Bungie Bounty for Good, which happened, and I wasn't there to participate, so I was sad.
It, I presume, was good. I think I saw a thing they raised however many thousands of dollars, which hey, any thousands of dollars for charity is good. So
yeah,
good.
So they have been listening, and they've been adjusting and tuning and tweaking the portal with rewards and improvements for up to 9.1.0.1 update. And they've been playing around with their live updates. I'm not calling it LUPs anymore. It's live updates that, and they are still tuning things and sharing information in the TWAB. And at some point, we're going to get this roadmap that was promised. I thought that they would, to be honest, I thought they would try and get it in this week, but obviously they want to kind of make sure it's, it's something that's going to help the community. So it's not in the TWAB this week. Raids and dungeons, they've heard our feedback since the Edge of Fate launches that the new raid was not feeling rewarding enough. It feels bad to get tier 1 and tier 2 rewards from difficult content that requires coordination and a large team. So in next week's update, 9.1.0.2, they are buffing the raid rewards in the Desert Perpetual, as well as changing up the legacy raid and dungeon content to let you farm exotics indefinitely without a weekly lockout, which is something we've been asking for a very long time, because legacy raids they've just been there, and yes, you can go in and do your challenges, and you have a chance to go and get said weapons from there, and some of the weapons are still quite good, even if they're not in the tiered system. Some of the legendaries in there are still really good, and being able to go into like Vault of Glass and get the time loss versions or the harrowed versions in the King's Fall, they're definitely worth it. Especially like Fang of Ear Ute is a brilliant scout rifle. If you can get it, if you can get a good one, or if you can get the red borders to craft it, it's even better. And it works very much similar to how I was saying about the Lethal Abundance auto rifle from Iron Banner, that when I was finding issues with like distance on like Widow's Court, I would swap to my Fang of Ear Ute because it's better at the distance than the auto rifle was. And because it's a strand weapon, it was also then having the perks of the threadlings and things, so on and so forth. So it's definitely worth some of the weapons are definitely worth be able to get. So the preview of the changes that are planned for September 23rd, they are going to increase the power gains from completing encounters in the Desert Perpetual raid between 300 and 500, regardless of the number of feats active, and beyond 500 for 4 feats plus. So I haven't played it, so I can't really give you any kind of context with that. But what I can tell you is that it's make number go up, you're going to get better rewards. That's probably how it works.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Desert Perpetual raid rewards will now drop starting at tier 3, with additional feats increasing the tier chance for upgrades. The Desert Perpetual raid Cutthroat Combatant modifier will now count as 2 feats when determining reward quality, and they're removing the weekly friction to exotic weapons rewards in legacy raids. So that's the locking us out of just doing one per character or one a week. I think at some point somebody said that it's gone down to just being able to do it on your account for once each week. So they're removing the friction to the exotic weapons in the legacy raids and dungeons. So you now have a chance to get the drop each time from their sources. That's really cool. And they're going to go in depth on these changes in next week's TWAB. Would have been handy this week to know ahead of time, but we'll go with what we've got at the moment.
This week we'll go shallow. Next week we'll go deep. Yeah, I mean, at least they're communicating this and stuff before the epic raid goes live. But yeah, so sometimes I know there's a balance between the communication and giving us useful information.
Yeah,
but yeah, we're telling you, we're previewing it for you. More information to come.
Yeah. They've been
Soon at
moving in
11.
the direction of improving your power of your drops in the portal and the Desert Perpetual raid. So on Tuesday, we took a few steps forward with the update 9.1.0.1 by incrementally upgrading the power of the drops in certain power bands that weren't where they wanted them to be. So they intend to take an even bigger stride forward in the upcoming patch. So here's the plan. They're working on speeding up the power climb even further, bonus engram power updates, and catch-up mechanics to help your friends on the power climb. So that's going to be really helpful for us kind of playing with Blue, who's way up there and we're down here. So
Let us play with our friends more. That's what we want.
exactly. In addition to the changes speeding up the power climb, earning seasonal power is like climbing a mountain, and they want it to be more welcoming for more guardians to climb the mountain every season. So to do this, they need to continue improving the power place gained from playing in the portal, whether they're the type of player who want to just aim for the highest grade or not. So speeding up the climb for everyone is about creating more opportunities for all players to gain power, which is what we've kind of been saying. Just throw the power at us, get us to what we used to be able to do, get us to the powerful cap of like 400 and 500 respectively. And then the pinnacle stuff, that's the grind. That's we've got our powerful drop. We're getting tier 5 stuff. We now want to go for the pinnacle. We want to hit that mark. So yeah, just give us bonus everything. Give us 10 drops in every activity. Well, I mean, apart from solo, solo 5 and then everything else, ramp it up. Anyway, they want bonus engrams to be a source of motivation, encouraging you to play a variety of activities in the portal for progression and providing a pathway to consistently gain additional power. To do so, in the interest of helping more players to get to the mountaintop, bonus engrams from portal activities will contribute to the power climb until the 550 cap. Catching up with your friends. So if you've missed part of the power climb and you're still feeling too far behind, don't worry, because they'll be adding a new catch-up mechanic that will help you jumpstart into earning power and higher tier rewards. And their goal is to ensure that there are lots of opportunities to earn more powerful and higher tier loot, even if you're flying during the latter part of the season. So look out for more details soon.
Is it spending silver to buy ranks?
No, I'm not. I'm not paying silver to buy ranks, and I'm not paying silver to kind of skip.
Well, that's for that.
anything.
That's already in the game anyway. So you can pay
I'm
your
not
silver
doing
for
it,
that
mate.
now. So I'm going. Okay, what are we gonna do? We're gonna put all these changes in that you should have had from the get go, and
I'll give you a freebie here, Bungie. You've got these events that come up every couple of weeks that you could entice people to go into that could get them up to the powerful rank of their friends. Just Iron Banner just being one example we've covered for about an hour of the show earlier.
Yeah, you could again.
Throw
Festival
the
of
loot.
Lost is coming up.
Oh
you
yeah,
you could throw stuff at us like you did with Solstice. I mean, Solstice remains so far the best reason to have played this game since Edge of Fate. The reward was there, the usefulness was there. Again, like I'm still, it's rare that I'm still using weapons I got from that, and it isn't just like, hey, you got some of these event weapons that you're never going to think about again. They're just here and gone. Like it was a really worthwhile event. So I'm really hoping that's the new model of what they're doing. Yeah, I'm not confident in this, but I'm hoping that that's what they're going to take. And that's a lesson they took away of, hey, everybody played this not because it was brand new or whatever, because it was rewarding. It was good. It was it gave us the loot we were looking for. So I'm hoping that's a lesson they can take away from this.
I know they say they're listening to us, but just repeating and regurgitating the stuff that we're saying to them, like more weekly powerful rewards. They say the weekly ritual is not giving enough rewards for the power climb right now. That's basically what the community has said to Bungie for months now. And it just seems like they've written it in the TWAB. So if we've written it in the TWAB, you're just saying the stuff back to us. Just, rather than kind of say you've got to wait until seasons of Lawless and Renegades go live for things to kind of go into it. It needs to be implemented now. Just it wouldn't hurt to just go, okay, we're just going to open the floodgates. Just let you all kind of get to that, experience that 500, 550 power now. And then when Renegades comes along and the season of Lawless, that's when we're going to have that time to have adjusted it to how it should be properly. But
right, yeah. I mean, like you want me to grind up to this light level. You want me to get all this tier 5 stuff. Show me that it's worth it. Show me that
Yeah.
the tier 5 stuff is going to be so much better than anything else I have that I'm going to feel like I'm truly missing out. Because right now, I'm still not. I'm not sure that I am. I'm not sure that. I sort of had this thought when at the beginning of this, going, do I need to get to tier 5? Yes, like I know on paper, yeah, it's more numbers, more things, everything is better. Like I understand they are, on paper, better weapons, better armor, better ingredients, better pizza. It's like they're better things, but for me, for a player who is not, grinding my face off, who is not trying to do epic and epic raid content, is tier 4 perfectly fine for my purposes? I mean, yeah, like I always want tier 5. Like I'm not going to say, I'm not going to try for tier 5 loot. I'm not going to try to get the highest everything. But for the time commitment, is it worth it? And I still don't know that answer because it's been such a slog to get to where we are. And again, like I'm having fun. I'm having a good time. I'm playing with my friends. We're doing stuff. We're getting rewards for it. I'm still hunting for a really good mint retrograde. So I've just been doing pinnacles, hoping one of those drops. Like I'm enjoying the game, playing it more casually. Like I'm not an end game raider player. Is tier 5 worth the time and effort and investment? And I'm still not sure it is. So like, Bungie, show me what I'm missing out. Show me how much better my Destiny life could be if I only had, all this tier 5 loot, basically. You're saying, hey, this is the best thing. Why? Show me. How much better could I be?
Yeah, I mean, they say that, in future seasons, Lawless and Renegades expansion goes live. They want more. They want players who consistently finish their weeklies to reach the top of the power climb with plenty of time to earn all the rewards that they want. Earning additional power rewards beyond the weeklies, such as playing the expansion or portal, should be an additional option to accelerate your progress even faster, rather than feeling like the only way to make progress. So 9.1.0 is the next stage, and that's the one is going to be... When's that going to be?
910 was the one we had this week.
Oh, okay.
Or
oh no, that was the first one. Okay, so that was the first one we had.
Yeah, that was our first episode. Yeah, so we get 9101 this week with all the things they promised us.
Okay, so adding the new challenges to Desert Perpetual. In future updates, they're taking another small step forward by improving the weekly challenge so you can accelerate access in the seasonal hub. Okay, and they intend to build off of this start and develop a more robust weekly challenge for future expansions and seasons. And they're working on all the details on how to hit these goals, but we'll be back next week with more information on all of that.
But I think now tell us what they were, so we'll let you know when we know.
Yeah, we'll wait for your feedback and then go, well, this is what they want, that's what we've got to implement. Oh, dear. Anyway, the next topic is Iron Banner. We've already covered it, so I'm going to tell people about what is happening next week in Destiny before we get to the next bit of the TWAB.
Sounds good.
This is your weekly rundown for the Edge of Fate, week 11, starting on September 23rd. Week 3 of the Ashen Iron update continues this week, pushing back the Conductor's forces in the Plaguelands, the snow-covered destination from Destiny's Rise of Iron expansion. And this coming Saturday, September 27th, Guardians from around the world will have the chance to become a legend once again, and battle in the Desert Perpetual's epic raid race. Rules for entering this competition can be found over on Bungie.net, along with the requirements for streaming your entry. But don't worry if you can't enter or find a fire team, as the stream team of CB Grey and EvanF1997 are returning to Bungie HQ to host the event. And if you watch the raid race for an hour via Twitch, you'll be awarded with the gnarled Tendrils emblem as a Twitch drop. In the Portal Crucible ups this week will be Competitive, Control, and a variant of Cutting Edge, with the return of Trials of Osiris at the weekend. Other non-featured modes of 3v3 Lockdown and 66 Momentum Control can be found over on the Crucible Director. In the solo ops we have Skywatch, the Salt Mines, the Conflux, Creation, K1 Logistics, and Caldera. In the fire team ops we have the 3 new Reclaim missions, Cabal's Watch, Conductor's Keep, and Fallen Bunker, Battlegrounds Behemoth, and Episode Echo's Core, 3 additional strikes of Hypernet Current, Insight Terminus, and Fallen Saber, 3 expeditions from Season of Plunder, Nessus, Cosmodrome, and Europa, with a returning episode Revenant, Tomb of Elders. We also have the Strikes of Liminality, the Devil's Lair, Proving Grounds, the Inverted Spire, and the Glassway, Battlegrounds Oracle, Foothold, Delve, and Conduit, Empire hunts the Warrior, Technocrat, and Dark Priestess, Savathun Spire Offensive, Onslaught Widow's Court and Midtown with the Coil. In the Pinnacle Ops we have the 3 dungeon layers, Pit of Heresy beneath the Necropolis, Duality Nightmare of Golron, and Warlord's Ruin Heaven's Vengeance. Exotic missions Presage with the Dead Man's Tale Exotic Scout Rifle being the main reward, the Season the Haunted, and opulent weapon sets, plus the Eidolian Pursuant armor set, Node Override Avalon, with Excalibur Exotic Glaive being the main reward, and the Season the Defiance weapon set, Starcrossed, with the Wishkeeper Exotic Bow being the main reward, and the Season the Wish weapon set, the Whisper, with the Whisper of the Worm Exotic Sniper being the main reward, Kel's Fall, with the Slayer's Fang Exotic Shotgun being the main reward, and Encore, with the Choir of One Auto Rifle being the main reward. On Kepler, Featured Mission 1 this week will be Commencement, and Featured Mission 2 will be Charge. This week's challenges are Vanguard Supply Recovery 3, Pinnacle Missives Discovered 3, Reclaim Missives Discovered 3, Splat, Trial by Firing Squad, and Kinetic Forces. For our Legacy rotation, the Dreaming City this week is at a medium curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Divilian Mist and has the Oracle Engine mission for the next week. The Blightwell features Hive enemies and the Plague Kragar. The Ascendant Challenge will be the Shattered Ruins over in the Spine of Keris. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is a mysterious disturbance. The Drove Guardian is located in the Anchor of Light, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare of Zortal in Sorrow's Harbour. Nightmare hunts Crota, Despair, Omnigul, Anguish, and Fanatic Insanity. The Altars of Sorrow start this week's rotation with the Nightmare of Zydron and the Heretic Rocket Launcher. On Europa this week, Phylax the Warrior will be the Empire Hunt, Asterian's Abyss will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Agility. Dares of Eternity expert difficulty rounds are Fallen, Hive, and Zydron. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Lightkin armor set will be available in Dares of Eternity with Weapon Set 3. Chroma Rush, Ignition Code, Grid Skipper, Farewell, Sonja's Tale, Shattered Cipher, Main Ingredient, Long Shadow, Last Dance, Toil and Trouble, Wishbringer, and Last Perdition. The Witch Queen weekly story mission is The Ghost, Altar of Reflection's Choice, and Altar of Reflection's Insight. The Wellspring activity will start the week on Defense, with the Arc Grenade Launcher, Tarnation, and Vazul Solar Scorn Chieftain as the boss. The Lightfall weekly mission is Desperate Measures, the Partition mission will be Ordnance, and the Vex incursion will be Umshire Park. In the Pale Heart, the exotic mission Dual Destiny is still available for teams of 2 Guardians, where you can farm the mission to earn as many new prismatic exotic class items as you like. The 12th Guardian Matchmade Excision mission is also available, with the Grandmaster version granting the Ergo Sum Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. The Lost Sector rotation for this week will start with Veil's Labyrinth on the Cosmodrome, Bay of Drowned Wishes on the Dreaming City, Skywatch 4 on the EDZ, Bunker E15 on Europa, K1 Logistics on the Moon, Hydroponics Delta on Neptune, the Conflux on Nessus, Sepultura on the Throne World, and the Blooming Deep in the Pale Heart. Also, with the Edge of Fate, all raids and all challenges are now available all the time, and at present there are also no featured raids or dungeons each week. The main ones available are the new raid, the Desert Perpetual, over on Kepler for tiered loot, and Dungeons Sundered Doctrine, which can be found over in the Throne World, with the exotic linear fusion rifle Finality's Ager up for grabs. The exotic mission rotator will be Starcross, over in the Legends tab, with the Wishkeeper exotic bow being the main reward, and the Season the Wish weapon set. The exotic missions, the Whisper and 0 Hour, will also be available in the Legends tab. And that's it for the 3rd week of Ash and Iron.
So, you know what's happening. We know what's happening. The Epic Raid is almost here. Now that you know what's next week. Also, the Epic Perpetual Raid, Desert Perpetual Raid, hosted again by CB Gray and Evan F. 1997.
Yes.
On September 27th. The pre-show kicks off at 6 a.m. PT on the Bungie Twitch channel with some exclusive interviews before the raid opens at 10 a.m. PT. So, if you're raiding, go ahead and get your application in. Tell them who's streaming, because again, at least one person from your fire team needs to be streaming this if you're actually doing the raid race. If you're just want to jump into play, go for it. Bungie doesn't care, but I guess if you're going for a world's first, one person needs to be streaming. There'll be drops enabled. There's of course an emblem, the Gnarled Tendrils emblem, that'll be available, very tentacly.
Yeah.
So just watch somebody for an hour sometime. They say between September 27th at 6 a.m. to September 28th at 6 a.m. The 6 a.m. PT. So basically, when it starts in your region, for 24 hours. Pick an hour of those 24 hours, you get a free emblem. All things, link your Bungie and your Twitch. You know how this goes at this point. You can follow the race if you want. Here are the official partnered streamers to check out. So Bungie's got their pre-show from 6. Now, is it 6 Bungie or 6:45? So I guess we'll have the interviews at 6 a.m. PT. And
Yeah.
then at 6:45 PT, the pre-show begins, which may be different than the interviews, and that runs until 10 a.m. PT when the raid Epic Raid opens and starts. And Evan F and CB Gray is going to have our full raid coverage. They're going to go for 12 hours, basically, from 6:45 a.m. to 6 p.m. PT. So, however long it takes, they're only on the hook until 6 p.m. PT. And then apparently, Wise Thug and Merge One in France are going to be broadcasting from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. PT, whatever that is in France. Another 8 hours. I assume they're about this where you are, Demon. So 8 or 9 hours. If you're in France, you know when that is. Nexus Gaming and Ellie Nalt Rain are going to be in. Now it's DE Deutschland, Germany, or is that DE Denmark? I'm going to go with Deutschland.
Okay.
But 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. PT. Not sure which country DE is. So Denmark, Germany. Yeah, write us in and tell us. We don't know. Masio will be in Italy from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. PT, and De Kyrie will be in Spain from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. PT. So, Bungie will have the big 12-hour show, and then various other countries will have their hour blocks with different people, and those are the official partnered streamers. So, what that means and how that's different, I don't really know, but they will be official. And then there are all the unofficial people who will be raid racing and whatever else. And we do have the updated raid race rules, which again don't apply to us because we aren't doing it. But they want to make sure that people are aware of the updated streaming guidelines required to qualify for the world's first. And again, if you're not trying for a world's first, you just want to jump in and have fun, you don't need to do this. But if you do want to try for world's first, streaming is required, but only for one member of the 6 fire team members. The stream must be on YouTube, Twitch, or Bilibili. The stream must be set to video on demand. If a team wants to hide a portion of their screen, they must use an overlay provided by Bungie, and they have it linked there. Or they can use their own version if it only blocks the designated areas provided by your overlay. So use Bungie's overlay in their press pass, or you can use a different overlay that you have, but you have to block basically the same parts of the screen. Team members cannot use additional overlays to block other portions of their stream, even as a joke. Good to add that in there. The team member who streams cannot black out or hide their screen or portion of their screen outside the designated areas showcased by our overlays. Game audio must always be on, but players may mute their voice audio. The streaming member must fill out this contact form by 10 a.m. PDT. Now, PT or PDT, Bungie? Which times are we dealing with here? By September 27th, so you have until... When is the 27th? So, yeah, you have a week from today. So, until next Saturday, you fill out this contact form, which just tells Bungie, hey, I'm the official streamer person for my team. And, yeah, and then good luck. Hopefully you do well if you're trying to stream a world's first and get a world's first. And if you're just going to jump in and have fun, good luck with that and have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a Bungie bounty for good that happened. It was good. People bountied. Money was raised. Everyone's happy. It already happened, so yeah. Which I mean, to be fair, they did tell us about it last week, so we did tell you about it. So you knew it was happening, but it was midday on a Thursday, so none of us can participate in those things.
Mm.
But what we can participate in, willingly or not, is a known issues list.
Ah, what we've all waited for this week.
The known issues, as if we weren't aware of them. So we've had the Slashening this week. So we had the crafting, and now we have the Slashening. So if you didn't know, somehow lightweight swords are doing a disproportionately large amounts of damage. So yeah, if you just had a lightweight sword with no ammo and you jumped and you used the light attack, you were doing like 300 something % more damage. It was ridiculous. It's, that's how people are just, one phasing bosses, wiping things off the map. It works beautifully against champions. It's a one shot. It's lovely. You're going to spend your time running around hoping you don't get a heavy ammo drop or pick up a heavy ammo box. Because if you have ammo, it doesn't work. It has to be an empty sword. So if you've seen people running at you with empty swords and things this week in Crucible, that's why. So Bungie originally said they were going to patch this in 24 hours. And then said, well, we'll give you until the reset. So if you had fun with it this weekend, great job. If not, you missed your opportunity. And I'm sorry about that, because it was great fun wiping bosses with it. players who have holofoil weapons equipped on Xbox systems are crashing. So those affected are recommended to unequip your holofoil weapons. So yeah, I don't know if it's the Xbox crashing, the game crashing, but yeah, if you have a holofoil weapon on, maybe don't. Players are unable to use revive tokens as intended in the reclaim activity. So that's fun that we now introduced that bug. Apparently that wasn't there last week when it was the featured thing. So good. We've added a bug to it now that we've taken the featuring away. Challenge modifiers are bugged and causing lower scores than intended. So the things you're adding to get your score up are actually now working against you. Good. Bonus damage percentages for PvP weapons are displaying wrong for players. I'm honestly not even sure I know what that means. And the non-remanifolds cannot be deleted properly from players' inventories.
Oh, we've acknowledged it. Oh my god.
We've acknowledged that they're there. There's hundreds of them, and it takes approximately a fiscal year to delete even one of them. So the 200 plus you have sitting in your inventory are always going to be there. So at least they've acknowledged they're there. Whether they'll fix it or not, who knows? But they've acknowledged they exist. Now, before I tell you about our patch note preview 9102 for next week, I want to quickly go over what they've fixed this week. And again, with our desperate attempt to figure out what's working and what's broken in this game. So this week on Tuesday, we got our patch 9101. And that gives us your Desert Perpetual Rage. They've increased the number of spoils you get for every feat. Basically, 0 feet gives you 10 spoils. 4 and 5 feats give you 30 spoils, and it goes up and down between that. I don't know why you do 5 feats versus 4 feats if it gives you the same number of spoils if you're going for spoils, but hey, I'm also not rating. Crucible, they made some changes to the lighthouse to improve your engram rewards and drop chances, which again won't be up this weekend because we have Iron Banner. But next weekend, if you're going to the lighthouse and playing trials, you should enjoy more rewards and things that are working better for you there. They also fixed an issue where the bonus focus from Crucible Ops would drop in an incorrect power. So yeah, your bonus rewards were dropping lower than they should be, which isn't really helping your light gain at all. So that should be fixed for you. In the portal, the featured armor scoring bonus is now granted to all players by default, no matter what gear they are wearing. So you no longer have to worry about your featured gear for your scoring bonuses. They've reduced the modifier bonus, to hit B and B plus and A. Basically they said, we're going to give you more rewards for getting B plus, A plus. They've increased all those rewards. Your prime engrams at all power bands. Players will have a chance for a prime engram drop per portal activity completion reward. So basically, the more rewards, the higher chance you have for some prime to drop in one of those. Your Grandmaster portal activities will no longer remove revive tokens when the timer hits 0. They will still remove your revives at the Conquest and Ultimate difficulties, though. Scores in portal activities above 125,000 now grant Tier 5 completion rewards for Platinum rank and above. There is, of course, a known issue. Sometimes, instead of a Tier 5 engram, a Tier 4 engram will show in the activity customization screen when the reward score forecast is above 125,000 for Platinum reward ranks. You will still receive your Tier 5 reward if you reach the score. Oh, I'm sorry, and that's 1,250,000. I can't read it all today. So that's 1,250,000 score, not 125,000. There are 2 commas in that number, and words are important. They've increased the timers and everything across the board. So again, Presage was the one I had seen everybody talking about because you just couldn't get through it in like the 13 minutes, I think that it was. Ooh. Something like that. So that one's been pushed to 20 minutes. Avalon's 35, Starcross 17, Kelsfall 19, Encore 25. So they've increased them across the board. All the battlegrounds, Proving Grounds, Liminality, Devil's Lair, Inverted Spire, Glassway, everything in there, they've increased them. Your Widow's Court's 39, your Coil's 35. Longer activities now have more time. And Presage is now literally doable because whatever it was before, you could not get through it. I think even if you speed ran it and one shot everything, it still was going to be real close. They've increased the current rewards on everything, like we told you last week. All the number of drops go up by 1. They did add back the mid-activity chest to the Whisper, Star-Crossed, and Encore in Pinnacle Ops. So they actually did that now that they told us they were going to do. They removed the Oscillation, Grappler, Hypercritical, and Match Game modifier from being selected in the match-made vertical of portal activities. Thank you. Grappler, while it could be fun, is very irritating when you're trying to, use a grenade build or a grenade at all. They fixed that bug where players were sometimes dying when teleporting from one area to the next in Reclaim. So your revives aren't working, but you're not dying unnecessarily. So, right back where we started.
Mm-hmm.
Fixed an issue where the new weapon loadout restriction modifiers were not allowing players to use all featured legendary and exotic armors. So, hopefully those will now actually work. Your rewards in the Fallen Saber Conquest were spawning in a different area than the chest, then going to your Postmaster. So I don't know where they were spawning, but somewhere. They fixed an issue in the Fallen Saber Conquest, did not have the same scoring modifiers as the portal version of the activity. Presage would automatically wipe players when its internal timer ran out. The timer is no longer active while the activity is in the portal. So they just turn the timer off entirely, in addition to tweaking it to give you more time for the bonus scoring. They fixed an issue where the Battleground Oracle could not achieve a base 10,000 activity score. And that actually is 10,000. I read that one right. They fixed an issue where the Double Focused Accelerator was not dropping 2 bonus things the first time you get your bonus focus each day. And your not swap modifier would not remove ammo if equipped weapons were swapped while the player was dead. They made the changes, to the Hunter exotics that we talked about. Power and progression. Increase the effect of the armor ghost mod on the drop chance for the related armor archetypes. They made all the changes to the chronologues that they talked about. And they made some changes to the different ranks about the number of unstable cores and ascendant charge you get at the higher ranks. Again, you're seeing the rewards. You'll get them when you earn them. The visuals for the Earned Iron Banner set have been replaced, and we'll use those of the Ancient Majesty set, which we talked about earlier. If you've been wondering where all of your lovely Star Wars pre-order was, they fixed an issue where the Obsidian Durasteel, the Cyborg Nemesis, and the Marauder Progeny Universal Ornaments could not be equipped. So now you can be Darth Vader and friends again. Those are all available to be equipped once more.
Yay.
They did fix the issue where the Bright Dust prices on the armor ornament sets was too high. Refunds for the Bright Dust price difference will be provided at a later date and time. And I know I'm pretty sure they've said somewhere the same thing for silver. If you purchase something for higher silver, they will refund you at a later date, but they don't say that in here. So take that with a grain of salt. And they fixed an issue finally causing the Titan Gladius Mark ornament to crash the game. The ornament's intended appearance has been restored. Yeah, so spend your Bright Dust now. You'll get refunded if you spent more than you meant to last week. Again, I'm pretty sure they're doing the same thing for silver, but it's not in this patch note, and I don't recall where I saw that. So yeah, maybe it's in this new patch note. So that's what we fixed. That's in the game now as you're hearing the words that I'm trying to say out of my mouth. Now, the patch notes we're going to get next week, Night Demon, for 9102, which they're targeting a release for on Tuesday, the 23rd. Your Graviton Spike, they're reducing the bonus AoE damage on the Stasis Overcharge hits versus players from 30 to 1. So apparently that's an issue for someone. I'm not sure I've been killed by a Graviton Spike at all in this Iron Banner, or at least not enough for me to worry about. Your Grand Overture, they're increasing your total reserves from 48 to 58. Queenbreaker, they're reverting the nerfs they were going to nerf and saying, hey, we're actually going to do revert these changes now. The 8% damage to bosses and the 15% to the time bonus from combat sites. And with these two changes, they will have reverted all the nerfs on Queenbreaker that they had implemented in 910. Chromatic Fire, they return the super-based elemental debuff application to Chromatic Fire's explosions. Controversial Hold, they reinstated the energy return for Vortex Grenades as well as their ability to trigger the exotic perk twice. Young Amankara Spine, they're going to fix an issue where the Young Amankara Spine wasn't granting the correct amount of grenade energy when killing Guardians with an ability. It should now always give the intended plus 8% for Guardian kills and 33% for combatant kills before stat scaling. They fix an issue where they're going to fix an issue where the grenade and melee stats were giving less passive energy than intended. We talked about that last week. There's about a 22% difference in what you should be getting versus what you are getting in the game now. So it hasn't been fixed yet, but come Tuesday, that should be back to where it should be. So your grenades and melee should be working even better than before. Fix an issue when purchasing an archived pass from the Monument to Seasons Pass would not provide chronologs if the consumable inventory was full. Lost chronologs will be provided to those affected at a later time. Fix an issue where Pressure Cooker did not allow players to receive their time bonus. And in Reclaim, Briggs will now do more damage across all difficulties, which is good because I hopped in a Brig at one point and basically immediately left it going, this feels super weak. Why even bother using this?
I've not seen one yet, so
I've seen one exactly one time, and I happened to be the first person to get to the new zone. So I was like, oh, let me try this Brig out. I don't know how much damage it was doing, but it felt so weak.
Okay.
I just left it. And none of the other two people I was with even tried to jump into it. So either they had tried or just didn't bother with it. So that's all coming next week on Tuesday. And then we'll get back to slightly better spots. And then we have Titan artwork of the week with some nice clean lines. And we have a movie of the week that I'm going to assume Bungie watched all the way through.
Hopefully this week, yeah.
Make sure you pay attention or you'll get caught in the fire. So there we go. And they're going to continue to receive feedback on Ice and Iron, working on improvements and changes to make the game more enjoyable and fun for everyone. We appreciate all your patience and passion for Destiny 2 and wish you luck on the world's first race attempt and your Iron Banner participation alike. So thank you. I accept the latter and reject the former because I am not racing anywhere. So that's what's fixed, what's broken, where we are. Also, I know we've got a little bit of news to get to.
There was some more additional news, yes.
Yeah, let's see. Where did
I can tell you about the first one that I put in there for the additional news.
Oh yeah, what about our audio issues?
There are audio issues with the Xbox Series X, and I was playing Iron Banner this week, and this must have been on Thursday because I wasn't streaming. So I was just playing, had my headset on, I was playing the game, and I thought, I'd take my headset off, I could just use the stereo system. So took my headset off, started playing the game, and playing the Iron Banner match was absolutely fine. But then when it came to giving like commendations and things, I would hear an audio, like a proper kind of crackling pop in all the speakers around the room. I was like, that's really weird. And went to the next game and it got quieter and quieter as each game went on. And it was doing this crack every now and then after the game had kind of finished. And then to the point where it actually just went silent. There was no audio whatsoever. So I plugged my headset back into my controller and was listening through that because I thought because I went through let's reset the Xbox, let's reset the stereo system, let's turn the TV off, let's do a complete shutdown. Maybe it's my system, maybe it's got a bit of dust in it and it's, yeah. So I was like, I did all of that, then came back and it did it again. So I ended up putting the headset back in and I was sitting listening to it, the headset, and I thought, I can hear it outside the headset as well. And I was like, took one ear off and I could hear it in the stereo system. Brilliant. There was no issue. As soon as I unplugged the headset, it all went silent again. I was like, and I plugged the headset back in. I was like, okay. And then it brought back all the surround sound. I was like, this is really bizarre. And I thought, what is this that's going on? And I did a search and found that Demon over on the Bungie forums had also had the same issue. And it was the Xbox Series X with the Atmos output that he had. He's got a 5.1.4 system. And the audio's been popping after the update this week. Yeah, because I was thinking, well, it didn't happen last week. So it is something that's happened this week. Because sometimes I don't know whether it's Destiny as the game that's causing the issue or whether it's the Xbox causing the issue and it's an update with the Xbox. But it looks like it is just Destiny 2 on the Series X. And it seems to be after this update that we had last week. And the workaround for it was to kind of go into the settings. And because I've got a Dolby Atmos system and I've got the DTX system as well, I've paid for the app things on there so we can listen to that with the surround sound. I had to go into the settings and turn the Atmos off and the DTX off and just have it 7.1 uncompressed. And it seemed to work absolutely perfect after that. I could listen to the surround sound. So there's an issue with audio, but then I've got to remember to put it back on if I'm watching a film or a 4K and and that's just really annoying. So yeah, that was my issue this week. Then I found somebody's posted about it on the forums.
Yeah. Confusingly, a different demon than you also had the
Yes.
same problem. So might this only be affecting people named Demon? Maybe. Yeah, so let's see. So we've had, a whole plethora of, Bungie updates this week.
Yeah.
They've heard our our feedback on the Iron Banner armor set that wasn't new and wasn't what we promised, so that's why they changed it and gave us one we needed. They are investigating an issue where players were unable to respawn in solo activities after dying, and this apparently was not affecting just solo ops in the portal, but like if you loaded into a planet, like if you loaded into Nessus or the Pale Heart or something solo and you died, you just couldn't respawn. You could use the fast travel to get to a different zone, but you simply couldn't bring yourself back to life. So that was very exciting. And I'm not sure. I think the next day they fixed those things, because this was all on the 16th. So this was all Tuesday after, we've come to the ritual of they push an update out on Tuesday, and then later Tuesday they follow up with, and here's all the things we broke in this update. Whoopsie. So they broke that. The solo respawning thing, I just have to wonder, how did no one catch that? How is that not seen? They were also investigating reports of inspecting weapons in the Iron Banner event home causing freezing on Xbox consoles. Until they can ship a fix, they recommend players don't inspect your Iron Banner weapons. For more information, they'll provide it when it's available. So yeah, I guess if from the event home, if you were inspecting your Iron Banner weapon, I'm not sure why you would be, because it's just the finite impactor and nobody wants it. But if you were inspecting it, it might have crashed your Xbox, so that's very exciting. So let's see, what did they fix the next day? So they did fix, push several fixes. The first one, of course, was they did deploy the fix. I think later in the day on Tuesday or Wednesday morning. Deploy the fix for the issue preventing players from respawning in solo ops and also just solo in the game. Please note that revive tokens are not working as intended in the reclaim activity. So the reclaim activity revive token is still broken. You can just, play the regular game and respawn normally. A base part of playing Destiny is coming back to life when you're dying, just hanging out, doing activities. So that was fixed. Additionally, due to the Widow's Court Onslaught rewarding fewer engrams than intended, the game mode has temporarily been disabled in the portal until they can resolve the issue. So Widow's Court Onslaught took out of the game. Finally, the weapons in Iron Banner event home are acquirable again, but the drops will no longer display the holofoil until a fix can be deployed at a later date. So in order to stop the Xboxes from crashing, they've made whatever fix they had to make to the weapons, but the holofoils won't be holofoil until some later date. So can you tell if you get a holofoil drop if it doesn't look like a holofoil, and then to know if you need to keep it for later?
Yeah, it's got a kind of pinky background, and when you move over it, it kind of shimmers. But then when you actually look at the weapon, it's like, oh, it's a regular one, but it's not a regular one.
Okay. So the thumbnail is, the thumbnail of the weapon will still tell you if it's holofoil, but the weapon itself will not. Gotcha. Because I read that going, well, then how do I tell if it's a holofoil? But that makes sense. Okay. So that'll still be available. Then they'll fix that later. On the 17th of September, they further reduced the score required to earn Tier 5 rewards down to 1.5 million at 450 power and above. And they may have also then taken it down to 1.25 that we talked about earlier. They mentioned, that was when they acknowledged, hey, the lightweight sword's doing loads of damage. They originally said, hey, we're going to push a fix tomorrow with a live update until then enjoy the Slashening. Later that day on the 17th, they said, actually, we're going to prepare a fix to the sword issue for Tuesday. So we're going to leave them broken for the weekend until the 23rd. Enjoy the Slashening. And that's also on the 18th of September. We had our live update for the additional Fire Team and Pinnacle rewards, which is basically to make good on the changes they said they were going to do in Update 910, which is to increase the reward drops on all 3 dungeons, the Presage, Node Avalon exotic missions, all 3 reclaims, and the Battleground Core and Battleground Behemoth. So push all those updates to getting more rewards out of all those things. We talked about the Majesty set. Yeah, there's still in the Iron Banner, you're still going to get, confusingly, you're going to get a armor piece that's going to say Iron Beryllium. I'll say Iron Beryllium helm with the Iron Bichromate set.
That's all right. Yeah.
And the thumbnail will look like, I call it like the seashell armor, like on the Titan. It's got like the seashell on your head, kind of. Now, if you inspect the armor, it's going to look like the set where it should, where like it looks like a crown and you've got a nice little jewel. And it's like, it's still sort of a samurai look, but it's got that new, looks like the new armor set if you inspect it. So your thumbnail is not going to match your inspected armor. So if you see the Iron Beryllium thing saying, oh, that's the old armor set, it actually is new. If you put it on or inspect it, the thumbnail is going to look like the old one. And that's where they talked about updating that thumbnail and updating the name of the set bonus at a later date and time. And then finally, I don't know when this was. I don't know, 7 days ago from when. But at some point, FYI, Pinnacle chests are still having reduced mid-activity rewards. But you're basically saying, hey, Bungie, didn't you tell us you were going to update these chests in the mid-activities on the Pinnacle drops? Or the Pinnacle activities? Sorry, I'm trying to read and trying to remember.
Yeah.
I didn't put enough of this. It was basically someone on Reddit saying, hey, Pinnacle ops still have reduced mid-activity chests. Encore, they reduced the mid-activity ones at the end drops and quoted the August 28th TWAB saying, hey, we're going to plan to increase these. And Bungie basically said, hey, we couldn't get everything into the 9.10 update due to a later date. This weekly update should have the fix, which we did talk about earlier in the show. I now remember them saying we added those back in, and now I can't remember if that was in the patch we just got or the patch we're going to get.
I think that's the patch that we're going to get.
Yeah, so those are coming. That's when I put in there, and I was like, oh, they talked about that, but I didn't put it in chronological order. So, yeah, those are all coming. And that was all the extra news I saw this week. I'm sure there was more news to be newsed, but that's all that I noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that that's not nothing, because it's, again, just trying to keep on top with what's broken, what's working, and what is the state of anything right now in this game is a full-time job, it feels like. Speaking of full-time jobs and Destiny, have you watched any good videos this week? Anything interesting? Anything catch your fancy?
Well, I did watch the two videos that I highlighted with the Fallout one that goes over the artifact perks and the Destiny Fun Police that says go and buy this ASAP. So go and buy it before Iron Banner disappears. I will also include the unique power of the Ever-Burning Glitz by Cool Guy, which is the new auto rifle that's in Trials, which I spent a long time playing Trials on Tuesday to get the weapon, got a really good roll of it, and then ended up swapping to the weapon that Destiny Fun Police recommended. So I was like, okay. So those are my three for this week. You look like you have lots of them this week.
Yeah, I've got a couple, and I know you mentioned the Fallout one of doing the new artifact perk stuff too.
Yeah.
So the first thing I wanted to mention, Cheese Forever again. If you haven't subscribed to Cheese Forever, what are you doing with your life? You should, because he is absolutely on top of all of these things that are working, broken, acting funny, whatever. Apparently, there's a massive issue where the game is just simply unplayable for people, I think, like in like the Russian Belarus area of the world. I don't know if it's just those two countries or if it's just people like in that region on those servers where they just haven't been able to get into the game like for over 24 hours, and maybe affecting other people in Eastern Europe as well, which he just sort of highlights of, there's conversation going online, but just saying Bungie hasn't really addressed this. They just like can't get into the game at all, or they get into the game and it crashes. Like the entire game is just unplayable. He just says, hey, mass outage, need help. Stop it and ignoring Bungie affecting thousands of European gamers. So if you're in, if for some reason you're listening to the sound of my voice and you're in Eastern Europe and you can't play Destiny 2, Cheese is aware of it. He's on it. He knows things are happening. Maybe Bungie will too. Maybe they'll address it. But yeah, it just seems like a fairly major outage happening that isn't getting a lot of love and attention from anyone, or at least acknowledgement. So yeah, just wanted to highlight that's a thing that's happening on top of everything else. I'd seen a couple of these new SMGs, the Seraphine Haze SMGs dropping, and I hadn't really seen anything of it. It's a stasis SMG. I had seen someone put out a video basically saying like it's the Huckleberry. Like I think it has like the Huckleberry frame and sort of acts like a Huckleberry, like a stasis Huckleberry, obviously without the Huckleberry perk to it. But it's a stasis SMG. It's got a roll on it, or it's some good rolls on it. Profane Gaming put out a video saying, "Hey, this is amazing." it's the only SMG that can do this, and has a couple of. It's got a new stasis perk to it and some other stuff on it. So he sort of goes over what it can roll with and what you might want to look for. I'd seen a couple drop, I think, when we were doing Reclaim. I don't remember now where it came from, but I looked at one point and was like, oh, an SMG that came from somewhere. So
Yeah.
that's something that's out there. Just again, so again, if you are running around with stasis and looking for more stasis weapons, there's another choice for you. And then 2 quick things from Cammy Cakes Gaming. One, yet another wild PvP artifact, or wild artifact taking over PvP, talking about the, basically Swarmer Boots and all the threadlings you can spawn, because you can spawn a lot of threadlings. I haven't really tried it in PvP yet.
That might be a good one to use with the auto rifle.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Yeah, but in PvE, I was running around with a Warlock yesterday, just with the 2 new artifact perks we talked about and the Swarmer Boots, and I was just playing with different strand things. I basically said, how many threadling based perks can I put on my weapons? And then I was running around with the new Malpace, between the new Malpace and a Mint Retrograde with Hatchling on it. And the new rocket launcher that is strand that I can't remember, the one that starts with Hal that I keep wanting to call the Halitosis rocket launcher. That
not
I can't
the Festival
remember.
Flight then.
No. The new the heavy rocket launcher.
Oh,
that
heavy
I
one.
now
The
can't,
rocket launcher, yeah. The Haliatus.
Yeah, that's the one that I keep wanting to call the Halitosis, which is not that. Again, basically just because it was strand, and it was basically just like, hey, get a strand kill, get a threadling. Do a strand damage, get a threadling. So I was spawning a hilarious number of threadlings in PvE, just running everything with threadlings on it. And I can't remember now what build it was I was using, but it's basically put on Swarmers, spec into strand, put all the artifact things on, and go to town. You can spawn a lot of threadlings. They make short work of a lot of things, and it's really funny in PvE. Yeah, like in PvP, I haven't tried it, but Cammy Cakes talks about it a little bit, and sort of slightly sort of bemoaning the, hey, another crazy thing taking over PvP. But he's sort of, as he describes it, he's sort of taking a, I'm going to play this game casually this season, and by that he sort of means, I'm going to put on silly builds, go into PvP, and just have fun. Like I'm not trying to content create or try hard or get to Ascendant. I'm just trying to have a good time and try out builds.
Yeah.
And to that end, he also talks about, hey, the Mida Multi-Tool and Mida Mini-Tool is a certified classic. If you weren't aware, the Mida Multi-Tool got some buffs this go around, and that I have seen a good bit of in the Crucible, where basically, as you get killed, you sort of your Mida gets another stat, another spec, another sort of bonus to what it can do, and that doesn't go away when you die. So you can sort of stack those extra abilities on top of each other and just do more damage. So slay out even more. So he sort of talks about that, and then basically the Mida family, the new shotgun, and the Mida Mini Tool that's come back as part of that. So yeah, so that's what I've watched this week.
I think that's enough, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like we've given the people enough to chew on for the week. I feel like it's definitely time that we get to the point where we say thank you to our lovely, wonderful patrons who have gone to Patreon and said, we appreciate what you do, and we like that you do it. And just we're big fans of everything happening over there. So Renard Calant, the man who can't be threatened with a good time, but can be threatened with podcast appearances, was here last week to talk about all things cat-related. So Renard, we appreciate you very much. Our grenade throwers, Golden God 1562, phenomenal grenade thrower. Server Booster, all-around good human being, love it. Noble, the man who also came on recently to give his thoughts, opinions, and Bungie listened to you guys, so maybe you need to collaborate more often. Maybe they listen. Maybe it's the British accent that just they listen to more.
That's what does it.
They commit to memory. I ramble on, and they're like, yeah, whatever. We don't understand. But the British men speak, and we listen to them. So we also have Farrell and the man Conan from Texas, our phenomenal grenade throwers, who should also come on at some point and join us and give their thoughts on this game, because why not? We're here to hang out. We're here to have a good time. We thank all our lovely patrons, and also all you lovely people who are listening to us. We see the numbers. People are downloading. Like, you're out there listening, and we really appreciate that you're out there listening. So thank you very much for joining us on this lovely Saturday morning as we talk about what's broken, what's fixed, and how much fun Iron Banner is. Your Titans are Peroty and Night Demon. You can find this show wherever you get your podcasts. If you're unsure for some reason, just search Two Titans and a Hunter. It's out there in the world. If you've got thoughts, opinions to share, Two Titans and a Hunter at hotmail.com. At this point, you really should be subscribed to the YouTube because you are getting the weekly update video that we drop into the show as well. But hey, you'll know what's happening next week, what A1's got, what Eververse's got, and to the best of my demon's ability, what Iron Banner's going to be when it either goes live or Destiny tells us, whichever it's going to be. You can find this show and all of our show notes at twotitansandahunter.com. So again, all the videos we talk about, the links we share, all the things you need, they're there in the show notes. Even this week, last week, many, many, many weeks ago, they're all there. They live there full time. And if you want to join the Patreon, be a part of our Otter Dance group, threaten us with a good time and throw more grenades, patreon.com/TTH. If you're looking for more of a casual encounter, coffee.com/twotitansandahunter. And it is September, and we did promise / threaten you that there would be streaming at twitch.tv/twotitansandahunter. So I don't know why you haven't gone there and you haven't clicked the bell. And there's been streaming, there's been gameplay, there's been hijinks. So you should go there. You should hit the follow button because then you'll know what's happening and when it's happening. And hey, if you're up in the morning on the East Coast of the US or super early morning on the West Coast US or in Europe land, you can join Night Demon. He's there. He's looking for things to do and people to do things with. So you can go watch, you can go play, you can go just have a good time. But you should head over there and hang out because the man does good work and he's fun to watch play. So you should do that. And until next week, tell the people goodbye or anything else.
I was just going to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.